All right, guys, happy mid-October, coming to you live, coming to you well, coming to you on 4 hours and 14 minutes of sleep. But I don't care about the mood. Success shows up even when you don't want to. And that's how I'm feeling this morning. Coming back from 2 days in Arizona. I coach a couple top teams out there. And obviously, nobody will ever be anything like us anywhere close. But it's cool to go out there and spread the love and spread the energy. So, you guys, I'm ready to fire on all cylinders today. I got some really cool stuff prepared for you. If you're on this call today, know that you will be pushed. If you get involved in the conversation, it's going to be a challenge today. I have some questions on the screen today. I'm going to ask you guys to get involved. This is all designed to make sure that we are testing your understanding of the market. Are you educated enough to have an opinion about what's happening in the local market? And listen, I'd rather you practice here, fumble over your words, not know the exact data and stats and figures and nuances. I'd rather you do it here than do that with your consumer, because consumers want you to show them how much of an expert you are in the local market. Well, if you don't have these questions ready to go, you don't feel confident, you're going to shy away from those style of conversations. So I want you guys confident. I want you feeling good. This is what the core of coaching is making sure that you guys feel the confidence, equipped with the knowledge to go out there and to crush this business. And so I'm gonna have somebody bring us out on the field. This person's gonna set the tone, set the sentiment. I'm actually gonna go to Cortez. Cortez, it's been a minute, big dog. Cortez is gonna be speaking at EXPCon next week. Looking forward to seeing you, big dog, celebrating with you, seeing what you're doing and what you're up to. But my man, I'm gonna have you bring us out on the field on this amazing, beautiful Wednesday morning. So let's go, big dog.
Man, good morning, everybody. I'm happy to be here. I haven't been on here in a while, and I woke up like, let me go in here and get my creative juices flowing. I think I might be already in Miami, so I was like, let me lock in these last few days. So I urge everybody to come to this meeting and just lock in and be open to receive and get something, get one nugget from it, and go from there.
And for Cortez, for the people that don't know you, how has 2025 been for you from production standpoint?
2025 has been my best year. I'm on pace to do about 12, 13 deals. I did five last year, so definitely growing in that department. Just super humble, super grateful. Same way I always been, really, but just locking in with that more and just continuing to grow and looking forward to the future.
Man, it's amazing. And this year you moved. You moved from Vallejo up to Sacramento to be closer with baby girl, went through a
Yep.
move, went through transition. And so if you could bottle it up to one thing that you have worked on and you've been conscious about working on this year that it's attributed to your growth, what would it be, big dog?
I would say doing what the fuck I want to do, like doing what I'm supposed to do. What's really like in my heart. The Sacramento move was like hard for me because I had to separate from someone. They weren't with me on that, and so I had to make that decision, and it was a good decision. So I learned from that. Do what you want to do, and everybody's going to fall in line. Even that person, they want to move to Sacramento all of a sudden. I'm like, oh, okay, it's interesting, but do what you want to do, man. I mean, don't hurt people, but if it's in your spirit, roll with it. It's probably the correct thing to do.
Mm. Yeah, listen, you guys, listen to your intuition, listen to your heart, listen to your purpose. We always talk about alignment on these calls. Blessing and I have had conversations at length on this. If you're not waking up every single day doing the things that you know that you need to do in this beautiful thing that we call life and business, then you have the wrong vision. Right. And it takes some time. Ask Blessing. She's gone through this with me. She's gone through this over and over. We've had conversation. We've had breakdowns. We've had breakthroughs. And so when the vision is so vivid and so emotionally charged, nothing stands in your way, you guys. Nothing. Oh, I didn't make my calls. Oh, I didn't make my videos. Oh, I wasn't consistent. That is not even a part of the equation anymore. I promise you. Takes a little bit of time, takes a little bit of work. But all these things that you want to work on in your business and all the things you want to do and all the things you want to achieve, you got to go inward first. You have to. You have to do the work on self in order for you to create a business that's going to thrive. So I appreciate you, Cortez. Congratulations on an amazing, amazing year. You guys, we're going to have a conversation about the market. But before I do so, if you're on this team, throw an emoji up on the screen. If you're on Team Fast, just throw an emoji because we do have some guests on the line today. Now, throw an emoji up on the screen. Yes, that's you guys. Everybody get involved in the conversation if you are actually on the team, or just give me a reaction like this. Okay. So A lot of people want to piss and moan about this market. I hear people still pissing and moaning that their business is not where it needs to be for these two reasons. Oh my God, COVID wrecked my business. Okay. Well, that was 5 years ago. Okay. Going on 6 years ago. COVID wrecked my business. And I hear this a lot. Oh, yeah, it's interest rates. Yeah, you guys having a bad year? And I hear this. I hear this defeated language all the time. I had an Uber driver pick me up yesterday and he took me to the airport. He's like, oh yeah, how's the market? He's like, I have my, I'm a lender. I'm like, oh really? Okay. I was like, do you just do this for extra scratch? He's just like, yeah, he's like, everyone around me is having an amazing year. And he's just like, I keep on asking him how. So I started asking him, I'm like, well, do you do anything with the agents? Do you do any social hours? Do you train? Oh no, I don't do any of that. He's like, but I'm convinced that all these lenders are just buying the business from the agents. Like wanted to make an excuse versus just saying I'm lazy and I'm not doing anything about it. Right. And so the reason I want to share this with you is because our company has been a company now since January of 2020. And if you're a guest on the line, I'm not going to stay too long on this, but I do want to share this because this is powerful and this is not about the team. This is about the market. And this is how we have performed in the market. You see, everyone wants to say, not everyone, some people want to say that this market is a challenge. I'm not able to win. I don't know what to do. My business isn't where it needs to be. All of that has nothing to do with the market. It has everything to do with that individual. No matter what happens in our economy, no matter what happens in the market, this is always going to be an action economy. Those that stay in motion, those that stay in action are going to win despite what is happening in the market, despite the conditions. I don't care if interest rates went up to 20%, people are still going to win. And on that vein here, I wanted to share this with you guys because this is important, especially if you're on the team and you're going to go out there and you're going to talk to your buyers and you're going to talk to your sellers. This is the most, and I'm going to circle this because I want this to be very clear for everybody that is on this call. Right now, we have 101 pending units right now. This is supposed to be our quiet time, a slower time. People are slowing down. This is the most pending transactions that we've had at one time in the entire year. Why? Because what we feel and what we understand on a very conscious level is that it doesn't matter what is happening around us. Those that stay in motion are those that are going to take the most market share. Now, somebody please get a house into cross the finish line so we could change that from 666 to 667 and higher. However, the point being here is that I want to be an example. We want to be an example to the market to say, if you're going to piss and moan about the market, go ahead, because we'll pick up the slack. We're the ones that are going to find those opportunities. We're going to door knock. We're going to get ourselves on social media. We're going to do the property tours. We're going to follow up on our database. We're going to work our Zillow leads. You guys, the business is there for those that want to take that business. But it's also there for the people that want to make excuses about this business. Why I can't succeed. Poor me. Woe is me. What? Man up. Cowboy up. Cowgirl up. You know what it takes to be successful. You don't need me. I'm here as a reminder. I'm here as a reminder of all the things that are beautiful about you and this beautiful thing that we call business and life. I'm a reminder. I'm not your motivation. I'm not the one that's going to make you successful. I'm not the one that's going to make you productive. My friends, that is on you. The business is out there, 101 pending units. This is our biggest month that we've had all year. And this is rivaling summer months, August, June, July, which are supposed to, historically, based on historical data, have always been the months where we did the best. Here we are in October, showing the industry no matter what, we're going to play like champions because we will always find a way to win. So I want to share that with you guys. I thought it was important. I want to get some contributions, some feedback, some insights on the conversation thus far. Let's go, Christina, because your boy on 4 hours and 14 minutes of sleep is fired up this morning.
Oh, you got to go to bed earlier. I resonate with this so much because last month and the month prior, I had probably one of my, I don't want to say slowest months, but lowest months. I funded like all year and the year prior. And I was so hard on myself and I was so frustrated because it wasn't anything I did. It was like, a client came in and the dad was like, oh, I'm going to give you cash. Another one, just like, change of heart. So it was nothing on the loan end. It was just strictly the buyer. But I was so frustrated and I felt so defeated because I was like, oh my gosh, another one. Oh my gosh, like, is this going to be another cancellation? Shit. And my husband was telling me, he's like, you are so hard on yourself. Like, but look what you've done already this month. I'm like, it doesn't matter. And I kept telling him, like, Alex, it doesn't matter. I'm not hitting my goal and I need to replace this. And I crammed and I sat there and I'm like, okay, who can I refinance? Who can I reach out to? And I literally just didn't stop until I rebuilt my pipeline. And so I think like in this, like you can come to these calls, you have to be your worst critic and the hardest person. Because to me, I kept telling him, because he's like, he saw me just, I was in a funk, like I was in a bad mood. I probably wasn't fun to be around for a minute. But because in my mind, I was like, I need to fix this. I need to replace this. And what am I going to do? And I just kept going and I just didn't stop. And so we can sit on these calls and you guys can hear Elias, but unless you get off this call and you sit there and kick your own ass, nothing is going to happen. And those deals are not going to get replaced. You know, I would have loved to go to that client and be like, no, you don't need your dad's cash. Let me give you a loan, right? But of course, it's not the best thing to do. And it's just like stuff happens. So I think ultimately, like, be your worst critic and kick yourself in the head. But then also, once you get that win and once you get that client back or you get that deal, also sit and appreciate that and give yourself a pat on the back, because I kept going, going, going. And then it was like, okay, another one, another one. And it's like, I had to stop myself and say, no, wait, like you just replaced that canceled one. Take a moment, appreciate it. Okay, on to the next. So this business can be such a mind F, whether you're a lender like myself or a realtor. We deal with a lot of the same things, but be hard on yourself, but also give yourself a pat on the back at the same time.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm going to quote Jim Carrey from Liar Liar. Kicking my ass. Do you mind? So I absolutely love this. And I want you guys to ask yourself this and sit with this for a minute. How are you holding yourself accountable when no one is watching? Right? When I'm not here, when your team leads are not here, when your coaches aren't here, when Jeff's not here for Christina and for Ashley, like what are you doing in those moments when you're just by yourself? How are you holding yourself accountable? And when you're looking at your pipeline, when you're looking at what your projected revenue is going to be over the next 30, 60, 90 days, if it is not where you need it to be, it's not where you desire it to be, then that should be a punch in the gut. And that should be a punch in the gut to say, you know what? All right, I got to work a little bit harder. I got to work a little bit harder. I got to grind a little bit more. I got to knock on a few more doors. I got to post more social media content. There should be a sense of like, oh my, like urgency, right? If our number went below 70 transactions pending, I'm in a place now. What do I need to do as a leader? Am I not doing my job? How can I show up better? How can I coach better? How can I do things to move the needle in the organization? So the challenges that you guys have moving your production forwards is the same challenges I have moving the business forward. We're all the same. Might be on different levels, but we are all the same. Look at our lender partner. We are all the same. So I appreciate that. We're all entrepreneurs. We're building a business. And so I appreciate your sentiment on that, Christina. Let's go. And congratulations. Look at what Jeff put in. No matter what, despite having a challenging month, she still funded $2 million in volume. So congratulations on
She just wasn't number one.
And I'm like, that's where like you still kick yourself. You don't make it on like the top 10 and you just kind of like, I think those type of things of recognition, it's like holding yourself accountable.
Yeah, totally. God, I love this. Let's go.
What do you do when no one's watching?
What do you do when no one's watching? How do you hold yourself accountable when no one else is in the room? Let's go Blessing, and then we'll go Patrick. And I think I saw another hand up. Was it Ashley's? Okay, cool. Let's go Blessing.
Yeah, Christina, you're a freaking rock star, even if you don't have anything on the board. The way that you show up is always a hustle. So just know that you set that bar regardless. So what I was going to say is just directly pulling from Elias that an object in motion stays in motion. And it doesn't matter if that's a positive flow or a negative flow. And especially if you are like that Uber driver who's looking around and comparing himself to everyone else. Comparison is the thief of joy. So if you are constantly looking at what everyone else is doing and saying, well, that person has this and that person has that, and I don't have this and I don't have that. Well, your motion is that critic that's proving to yourself that there isn't any business. And if you are looking for proof that you don't belong in a room or the market isn't working for you, you will absolutely find it, because that's the way the mind works. It works to prove the thoughts that we have. So what are we thinking? What are we focused on? If you want to be successful, then get really, really quiet and really, really focused on what is actually important to you. I think right now, the stillness of reflecting on, I keep wanting my business to get to a certain level. I keep wanting it to look a certain way, but there's a gap. And like, what is that gap? And am I actually paying attention to it? But if you don't create that positive momentum and you're not doing the things, just like Cortez said, finally doing what I'm supposed to do, well, you're the only one that gets to dictate what you're supposed to do. No one is actually saying, make 17 calls so you can have this amount of money. This is a business where there is no cap, there is no ceiling. Like, you literally get to go as big as you want to. And if you can't see yourself as big as you want to, you'll never get there. But it is about building that momentum and building the habits that align with where you want to go. And no one's coming to save you. You have to make that definition for yourself. And if that's scary, then that's a completely different conversation. That's not the industry sucks or the market sucks or I don't have the right training. That's a you problem. And you've got to look in the mirror and own that. And that is probably the scarier part, but it is so worth it when you can look at yourself and say, no, this is exactly the way I want to run my business. And if you don't want to work with me, then I'm not the agent for you. There's someone else, but I'm going to keep going and get what's mine.
God, really, really powerful. Really powerful. It's like, listen to what you're hearing when you know, our team members, our friends, our lending partner, like you're hearing like all this growth in your guys' words and like your ability to go and share and coach somebody else. It's really, really powerful. Listen, guys, if you want to raise your self-esteem in business, if you want to raise your confidence in business, it's not by knowing everything first. The confidence and self-esteem is by doing the action first and doing it imperfect. And I promise you, by doing that, you're going to build confidence. You're going to build confidence over time. And so, Blessing, I always appreciate it when you share and you contribute at the highest level. Let's go, Patrick, Ashley, and then Aaron, and then we'll shift gears in the conversation. Let's go, Pat.
Sheesh, Blessing, damn, putting some fire under my ass for real. But
Well,
kind of
hold on. I just got a 6-7, so I'm confused because Brianna said it doesn't mean anything. But then you said some fire stuff, and then Gary's like 6-7, so maybe it is a good. Let's go, Pat. Sorry.
No worries. I mean, just reminded me of a quote that I saw, or I think it was a phrase or some shit, but it was about realtors, quitting. And it says complacency kills more realtors than competition ever will. And also, kind of going back to what you kind of started with, Elias, is that there's this. I love watching Suits. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but Harvey Specter's the man, and he always says this thing. He says, "Don't play the odds, play the man." And how we can go ahead and relate to that as realtors is stop fearing the market, start reading your clients, because that's really what matters at the end of the day. Kind of like this is supposed to be our slow season, but look at us doing 100 plus. So, I just wanted to share that, and then I'm really motivated by this meeting right now. I just want to do some push-ups or something.
So, Patrick, so say this line again. You said complacency kills more realtors than competition. Or let me make sure.
Complacency kills more realtors than competition ever will.
You guys, listen for the one thing that you guys can apply in your life and business or reflect on after this call. Man, I've never heard that before. I think that was absolutely powerful. Really great stuff, Pat. Let's go at Ashley, and then we'll go Aaron, Chris, and then we'll shift gears in the conversation. I got some cool stuff prepared for you guys.
Good morning. I was just relating to Christina when she was talking because we can have a full pipeline and be panicking and go, oh, if I don't do these follow-ups right now, I'm robbing myself from 2 months from now. What month am I in? Oh, that means Christmas. My kids aren't going to get gifts on Christmas because these are going to book now and I'm going to have to spend it. And then on Christmas, I'm going to be broke again. And it's not true. It's not true. But it's this overachiever mindset that I'll be up till 1 o'clock doing send later text messages to make sure I've checked off all my follow-ups. I'm up to date on all my activities. So I'm not robbing my future self and my kids of something down the line.
God, I love this. It's the championship spirit. It's that championship spirit. So my mom and I are going to Kona for her birthday and my birthday. I'm going to speak out there for a big company. And I told my mom, meet me there. She booked her trip. Like, I don't want my mom to spend any money. My mom's coming into a large inheritance, and I think like naturally she's like, oh, I want to spoil my son, but I don't want her to spend money while we're there. Like, I just want to be able to like, I'm gonna work my ass off right now. I'm just gonna grind right now. So when we get to Hawaii, like when she goes in to pay for something, like, nah, mom, I got you. Like those little small things, like remember who's impacted by the result of our success. Shit, my mom. My wife and I are going to EXPCon next. Well, I'm going to EXPCon. Then she comes out on Wednesday. Wednesday to Sunday, we're just going to do cool anniversary stuff. Like those are the small things that I'm working towards to be able to spend those moments. And by the way, my wife smells so good right now. She came up and gave me a quick little sneak kiss. I don't know if you guys saw that during the call, but she smells so good right now. Anyways, going to Aaron Chris. Let's go over to you. I know you guys saw her. She came up and sneaked a kiss. But Aaron Chris, let's go over to you, big dog. Let's get some contributions on the conversation.
Well, first of all, I got to say that I admire the Linden crew and their tenacity. I had some incredible years lending, and I'm still in. I understand what they're saying about fallout, and I took it terribly. Like I was not happy doing what I was doing, even though I was having a good amount of success. And when the rates fell off, I fell off basically. And I can identify with that guy, but it's funny because the second I started contemplating like doing DoorDash, instead of doing that, because you're actually investing your energy and time into that, I decided, hey, I'm gonna switch over to the real estate side. And I think that that was a blessing in and of itself. But I think the bigger thing that I did that helped with all of that is I didn't say, oh, I've been doing this for years. I know how I can do it. I found a team. I found a group. I found a people. So he's talking about, I see people who are doing well. Get in the room with those people. What are you doing? Like, stop complaining about why the market's not working. When you see people succeeding, find out what they're doing. Get in the room with them. Get on meetings with them. See what they're doing and emulate that. And when I made this shift, it's funny because even through success, I had this bitterness, this ungratefulness. And since I joined here and the growth that I've had and the rooms I've been in, the calls that I've been on, I can't help but be thankful for the position I'm in, the opportunity I'm in, and that just that mentality of gratitude is something that makes what is happening in the market kind of melt away. I don't really care, and I hear people saying it all the time, and I'm thinking, well, I closed 4 deals last year, and I'm on 13 this year, so I'm growing as a realtor. So yes, the market's hard, the rates are not the best, but there's still people buying, there's still houses being built, there's still stuff happening. It's your mentality, it's the position you're in. And I'm thankful to be in these rooms. I'm thankful to be around people. I'm thankful to see Jeff and Ashley and Christina and all those people killing on the loan side, because it just shows that, it was a mindset for me. It wasn't that the loans were bad or anything was going on. It's just that I wasn't feeling it. And even when I was doing well, I wasn't feeling it. I was like always mad. Like I could close 5 deals and 1 deal falls out, and the whole month I'm like, God, that deal fell out, and I'm pissed off about that. But Christina just in showed that my mindset should have been like, forget that one. I got to find a new one, right? But I had the wrong mindset, and now in this space, a deal falls apart on me. Some clients just decides I don't want to buy anymore. I just pick up the phone and start calling more people. So it's a mindset. It's being thankful for the position you're in, because I would imagine the Uber driver is not super thankful that he's driving Uber. Like, I don't want to be picking people up at 2 a.m. from a bar to take them home. Like, what I'd much rather make 100 calls and knock on 100 doors than to be driving somebody around, that is belligerent. So it's a mindset. Be thankful for the positions you're in, and finding the rooms that are going to help you grow is all that we should really be focused on. The outside stuff, what the market's doing, what the news is telling us, that's garbage. What's going on in this room, that's where it's at.
Man, I appreciate that at a high level. The coaching me in the back of the car, I was just like, man, I'm like, you're taking the easy way out right now. Like if you would have just applied yourself, made the calls, make the connection with the realtors, go out, have some lunch with them, schmooze, just be around them, offer some training. I'm like, you probably would have found the deals, but I didn't have time to go through all that. I wanted to take a nap. But anyways, we had a little bit of a conversation, but let's go into the market, you guys. I'm going to let David in really quick. You might notice some faces on here. I did something a little bit different today. I think this is cool. So I'll just leave this up here for a quick second so you can see your faces. There you go, Aaron. There you go, Gary. There you go, Mama San. I don't know if TT is on here, but go ahead and take a quick picture of yourselves because picture looks so good. I have these thumbnails I'm going to be putting on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Just thought it was a different look. I thought it was something cool. Put your guys' name in the words, but let's go here. I think this is the epitome of who we are, and I'm so glad that you guys shared your thoughts and sentiment about this group and what this means. So surround yourself with the builders, the creators, the doers, the makers, the ones who dream vividly, move intentionally, and create relentlessly. They remind you it's safe to step beyond comfort zones and forge paths labeled uncertain. They are your mirrors and motivators, your challengers and cheerleaders, and they will make you meet your higher self again and again. Raise your hand if somebody in this room has helped you grow in life and business. Please raise your hand if somebody in this room has helped you grow in life and business. If one of these calls has struck a nerve with you, hit your heart, spoke to your soul. You guys, I saw this and I was like, man, I think that this is really powerful. I think that it really encapsulates what we do here at Keep It Moving. So I appreciate you guys. Let's go into the market. What we're going to do is we're going to do a hot seat. I'm going to get people to raise their hand up. And if nobody raises their hand, I'm just going to call on people. And then that person is going to pass the mic to the next person. So I'll start out easy with you guys. And what I want you guys to ask yourself right now is what price range is moving the fastest and what that might indicate about buyer psychology. Are you seeing 600 to 700,000 moving, faster right now? Is it your lower price point homes? Is it your $1 million plus price points? Like, what are you guys seeing right now from activity? When you're out there showing homes, like, what are the houses that are flying off the market? I want to hear your guys' vantage point because you guys all serve different parts of the Bay Area, Central Valley, and Sacramento. So I think hearing from everybody, it gives us a really good understanding of where the market is going and give you guys a quick idea of the psychology of the buyers in the market right now. So I want one bold person to take that. What price range is moving the fastest from your vantage point, and what might that indicate about buyer psychology? Let's go to Damian. Let's go to you, Big Dog. Have you answer that question?
Good morning. Oddly, just the day before yesterday, I was in Richmond showing the client houses. It's a mutual client with Ashley, and I think we've been in contract once or whatever. We put in a few offers and it didn't work out. But now he's looking at single family homes between 600 and 700,000 in the Richmond area. And it was crazy. We went to go see 5 houses, and all 5 were like great options. He could see himself in all of them, and they were all on the market past 14 days, which I preach to all my buyers. That's where we're going to find the best luck and the least competition. And it was just strange because all 5 of these houses were actually available and options and transparent. So I found that interesting and wish that I had more clients in that price range in the Richmond area right now, because that's a steal to be able to, again, get in with no competition. But then I have clients in San Francisco looking south of market, and I think I mentioned this last week. They can't get into anything, and their max is 1.4 for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo. And they're having the hardest luck finding anything that matches what they would actually live in south of market. Things downtown are sitting a little longer in terms of condos in San Francisco. But yeah, other than that, in Oakland, in the $1 million to 1.2 range, it seems like those are flying off the market right now.
Okay, really good stuff here. And so note this, you guys, note this. If you're working with a client that's looking in Richmond between that price point, like this is some positive information to share with them. Now, obviously, everything's going to be case by case. We have to do our homework, so on and so forth. But this is really good information to know. And remember, well, maybe you don't remember, but I'll share with everybody. In 2020, what happened that year? 2020, what changed our industry? Not everything. COVID, yeah, bro. So COVID happened. And what happened to the East Bay market when COVID hit? What happened to the East Bay market? Otis, really quick, just stay with me. Just brief answers here.
People overpaid a lot of money.
It blew up. Why? Because people wanted what? They wanted the outside space. They wanted Zoom room. They wanted flex space. Like the thought and idea of a home changed so dramatically in that year. Everyone came east. I called it the Great Exodus, right? Everyone moved out of the city and they moved to the East Bay and they went even far to East Cocoa and so on and so forth. I had a client that was adamant about living in Oakland, purchased a house in Oakley with a pool, and so on and so forth. So we saw this exodus out. Well, now what's happening? What is the biggest technological boom right now that we are facing and will face for the next few years? What's the biggest technological evolution? Yeah, absolutely. AI, for sure. And so, us being San Francisco, Palo Alto, when you think about all the tech companies that have come and have been spawned out of the San Francisco Bay Area, these people are coming straight out of college, interning, they're coming here and they're working to build all these AI platforms. This is why you're going to see more people moving into the city. More people in the city are going to get priced out. Affordability will become an issue like it was before. The condo market is going to start to increase. You're going to see more competition on the condo market. So what's that do for the East Bay? More people are going to come over the bridge and it's going to start giving more demand in the East Bay. You guys, we've seen these cycles over and over and over again. And it's just about being aware and being conscious and being able to have these conversations. D. Bledsoe, I appreciate your contribution at a very high level. I'm going to tell you, let's have you pass the mic. And here's the question. Are listings selling above or below asking in your area? And how has that shifted over the past 90 days? I think you've heard a little bit about that from Demian, but this takes it a little bit deeper. So Demian, pass the mic to somebody on the call.
Abel?
Abel, okay, cool. Abel's new. Let's go, Abel. Just from your vantage point, listen, from what you've seen, what you've been around enough, are listings selling above, below, or selling above or below asking in your area? And have you seen that start to shift over the last 90 days?
I'm not gonna lie, I really don't know the answer to that question.
Okay, it's all right. It's all right. Why don't you pass it over to Otis and see what he says?
Otis, help me out.
Stall him out, Debo. No, I got him. From my vantage point, I'm seeing that they're below. Like I literally just had to cancel the listing. He wants to rent it out because just like you said, Elias, he's no stranger to the tech industry, and although he's out of town and he's out of state, and my selling point to him was like, I'm gonna be you out here, so you don't need to worry anything. So we have a call sometime this week. He's been working over the numbers to see whether he should continue to rent it out for a while, and maybe we can reconvene in a couple weeks. But I'm trying my best to reel him back in and let him know, like, hey, I did it your way. You bought it for 1.3 because he was one of those people in Berkeley. We're talking about Berkeley right now that bought at a time where he needed that, security, like you said, being away. He has a beautiful duplex that's 1-1, and I think that's the drawback because I'm seeing the 2-2s, 2-1s go, for a little bit lesser or at listing price, not over like Berkeley does. And we didn't do it the way we should have done it, and marked it a little bit lower to go high. But he had spent 1.3. So we started at 1.4 and we said, hey, if it has to come down, we've been reducing. So we reduced a lot. And after the third reduction, showing, first it was 50, and then that went off. And then, the big reduction was another 51. So seeing $101,000 on a listing has been eyesores and we haven't been able to really get anything. When I almost hit a 1.6 out the bat, but the guy went ghost on me. And it's been a very hard challenge. It's the first time I've ever had to do this. So like what Christina said, I do feel a little bit defeated, but I know the warrior in me. I'm going to talk my ass off and I'm going to get us to get back this listing,
Right.
and we'll get back on. But we'll just have to, do it the right way. Sometimes you got to show them. And in this case, it hurts me for a paycheck over 45 days plus longer if we go back on. But I know in the true heart of fashion of who I am, I'm going to get him back. But he's going to have to understand to listen to me. That was a key line that Patrick said. Don't know the market, know your clients. Like, I know he has like the payoff is like 900,000. So even if he sells it for 1.2, it's like, hey, you spend a lot of money. This is happening to people not just in the Bay Area but nationwide. So it's hard. So I would say definitely on the negative sense, and unless you're going to be like someone like Pat and George, who have a beautiful home out there, duplex out there, and they're spending money to do what they need to do to get super eyes on it. I wish my seller had the funds or would want to do that, but it's a 1-1 and you can't really do too much. So it's an awkward time for people. You got to kind of know how to navigate, but we'll get back.
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Ashley, you threw your hand up really quick. Did you have something? Good stuff, Otis.
Yeah, I've noticed listing agents have, sometimes like 2020, listing agents didn't really have the time of day for anybody. And the last couple weeks, I have been noticing they have been a little extra nice. They've been calling me, "Hey, is your client gonna put in an offer?" And I was like, "Oh, this is normal. I like this environment." I had
Yeah.
somebody put in house is listed at 700,000. And just judging based on how the listing agent was interacting, they didn't really have a poker face. They kept calling and saying, "Are you going to put an offer in?" And
Yeah.
so, just based on that, we just decided that the agent wanted to put in a really offensive offer. Asked for $28,000 in credits, walked away with 18,000 under list.
Wow.
So it
Wow.
is, I obviously it's not going to be everywhere, but I am seeing spots. I even had a client yesterday say, "Oh, I think the houses are really going down." I was like, "They're not. They're not
Mm.
going down, but sometimes the house has been listed for a little bit, and so the seller's willing to compromise a little bit, but don't think you're going to get too crazy of a deal. But you are getting credit still in this market.
I love this that they wrote a offensive offer. I haven't heard it put that way. But I remember 2020 to 2022, when you would call a listing agent, if they would say, because it got over and over again, just submit your highest and best, it was literally like fighting words. It was basically them saying, "Okay, yeah, I'll meet you at the park." Right? That's what it felt like. They were just jerks about it. They were just such jerks about it. Submit your highest and best. Like it was just over and over again. So we're gonna shift gears, but really quick, Joanne, what's your contribution?
Um, so I have a client who has been thinking about selling her house and maybe buying another one. So she has been sending me a lot of listings over the past like couple of months, and they're all between like 1.5 and 2.3 in La Miranda. And I was just kind of going back through all of them, and either there's been like two out of like 15 that she sent me that sold for the price that they were asking. Everything else was either sold under asking or had price cuts and then sold, or didn't sell, taken off the market and rented instead.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Listen, you guys, listen to Joanne, listen to Otis, listen to Demian, like save this stuff. So when you have a consumer that's looking in these markets, you guys actually have some real-time stories to share with these consumers. All right, let's talk a little bit about new builds. I'm curious to see what you guys are experiencing right now. Obviously, I live in the haven for new builds, so I'm curious to know from your guys' lens, what's the current sentiment amongst builders? Are they increasing or slowing builds, offering more agent commissions, and why, or are they not? So I want to hear from you guys. Like, what are you experiencing from the builders? Right? Are they needing us? Are they groveling? Are they asking us to come in? Are they following up with you? Like, what are you experiencing from the new builds? Are they offering, the 3%? Like, what are you guys seeing from all the new devs that you guys are going out and seeing? Aaron, Chris, let's hear from you.
I just came across the client who is in new builds now, and so it was interesting because they started in Richmond, and now we're out in Stockton. In the Bay Area, it seems like a lot of the new builds. Well, I'm gonna gauge it by Lennar. In the Bay Area, Lennar will not pay you at all. In Stockton, they will pay you. And so that is a sign. And then also from the calls, like when I'm calling about, and this is just East Contra Costa. So it's not even like in the heart of the Bay Area. We're on the outskirts of the Bay Area, and they're still kind of, playing it like we're the builders. We got stuff special. And they work with you a little bit, but the builders in Stockton will blow up your phone and be like, "Hey, I got a deal. You want to make an appointment? Let's do this." I had a Lennar builder when we were out there standing inventory tell us straight up, like, "Hey, if you offer, it was like a house, it was like 620. If you offered, 600, and then we rolled in, like they were basically as clear as you would want any agent to be about how to write an offer." And so that was inspiring to the clients. It was a good exercise for the clients to see, okay, we're talking to Bay Area builders and we're talking to Stockton builders, and they're like, "Is this Stockton builder telling us to just write a lower offer and to do whatever?" And so now we're building our whole Sunday tour to look at all the Stockton builds because again, they're a lot more aggressive about it. Now, I don't know if it's like that in River Island or in like in Manteca. I know in Patterson, those new builds they were calling a lot, but like Tracy Hills, Mountain House, that part of San Joaquin County is not the same as what's going on up in Stockton and North Stockton. And the neighborhoods are still nice. That's the thing that's a trip is you go out to Stockton and you're thinking, oh, Stockton. But then when you go to North Stockton, Spanos Park up there, it's actually pretty nice.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, good stuff, you guys. Listen, if you're out shopping with the consumer, and Evangeline, I want you to chime in on this. If you're out shopping with the consumer and they're looking at resales, like no matter what, you should sprinkle a little new dev on them, right? Like, hey, I know you wanted some historic charm, but on the way to the historic charm, I know a new Taylor Morrison build. They're expecting us. Let's just go by there and check it out. I just want you guys to see that when they see the finishes that they can, they see the design center, be able to, pick their colors and their scheme, their lights and all the things. It might change their opinion. So I would always sprinkle a little bit of new devs. And if there are new devs within the surrounding area, Evangeline, what happened in the city? Let's roll.
Yeah, I mean, this is some months ago now, we're pending, but I had a client who was looking at, existing condos as well as looking at new dev. And we went to this, it's like Renew on Harrison. I was sharing that with me and a few sessions ago, but they were pretty desperate. I mean, they were blowing up my line. They did pay your concessions and we came in well under. I mean, I think it was listed at like 700 or something like that for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo at like corner unit at that. And we got in at 620. So, I mean, they were really desperate. The one thing I will say though, when it comes to the new dev shopping, I mean, it is a great option and we're seeing a lot of options out there, but I think it does depend on your client of like, what is their timeline? Because the one problem with this new dev is like, we're waiting for a certain amount to get into contract before, right, the bank will fund it, we can move forward. So, I mean, we got into contract in like September and then we're not closing till December. So it depends on your client's timeline. Maybe they want to move faster. Something else I'm seeing too, when I'm taking my clients out and we're having these new dev conversations is social media. Like they saw the viral like TikTok thing of like Lennar and the moisture and the lawsuits and this and that. And I think that's really scaring some people away from new dev. So that's my vantage point.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. We're gonna go Otis, rapid fire, because I got another question lined up. Another couple. Thank you, Evangeline.
Oh yeah, out in Fairfield is a wonderful job if you're looking for great deals. I mean, some of the houses are 75, 80, almost 100,000 lower than when they first started. You're gonna get really great incentives, and that one thing to keep in mind, like is basically the appliances, but also in the contract and the fine print. If you ever look at one of those fucking things, they're way longer than ours. I mean, you're looking at stacks of pages. And the biggest thing is you have to look, they have a line in there that says they have up to a year period to deliver your home. So I had that happen with a new build where it was like, we were supposed to get the keys. This dude moved and he ended up having to keep his shit in storage for over a month and a half because they were 2 months behind with just PG&E and wiring up some homes and stuff. So keep in mind that those are something that you could deliver all the way and they can have a hellacious thing like waiting, like she just said, almost 2 months. So you can keep them heat on that. You get a hell of a deal, but you have to worry about some stuff like that too.
Yeah, man, I appreciate this. All right, guys, let's shift the conversation. I'm gonna go here. If you were to door knock or circle prospect right now in your market, wherever you are on this call, based on recent sales, where and why? And what I mean by that is that I call this a congratulatory knock or a congratulatory circle prospecting. If you know your market has recently had sales that have been over, we've heard of a slew, we've heard over, we've seen under, we've seen at. So if you were going to go door knocking and go and create some opportunities for yourself and or hit the phones, what market would you choose? What markets would you go and say, oh, I'm going there? The markets that have had sales that have been over asking price, that's a congratulatory knock and that's a congratulatory call. Hi there, Mr. Homeowner. My name's Patrick. I'm in the area. I want to congratulate you. What are you talking about? I want to congratulate you that the value of your home just went up. Not sure if you knew, but the Andersons over on 127 just sold their house, and that house sold for $50,000 over asking. So I'm letting all the neighbors letting all the neighbors know congratulations that values are up in this area. Okay, well, thanks. Also, they had 10 offers on that home. leaving 9 people super heartbroken that they can't live in this community. So I'm just asking, do you know anybody that's thinking about a move? No? Okay, great. If you ever need anything, my name's Patrick. And by the way, what are your plans with the home in the next 2 years? Okay, it's a script that works. I want to ask you guys, if you were going to develop a script, or excuse me, a list and a plan, if you're going to go door knocking, circle prospecting in your market based on recent sales, where would you go and why? And you guys should know this because you should be running comps. You should be like, oh, let me look in Poets Corner. Let me look in Walnut Creek. Let me look in this part of Danville. Let me look in this part of, the Diamond, the Laurel, wherever you are. But if you had to go pick a place right now, today, get in the car, I'll meet you there. We're going to go door knocking because of the recent sales. Where would you go? I need one person to answer that question. Concord. Okay, cool. Where else, you guys? Think about this. Evangeline, let's go.
I don't have like the data on, the price point, it going up, whatever, but Santa Clara, I mean, that's always a hot market, especially like you said with tech, where, you're driving through there and a regular schmegler ass house that's like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath is like $2 million. And, you go to those open house. I love going to open house just to walk through. I may not even have a client, but I just want to see what's going on. And they have hella parties up in there. Like it is just so many people up in there. I'm waiting in line to get in there. I'm like, wow, it feels like Black Friday. So Santa Clara, 100%. Go to Santa Clara. That's where the money's at.
Okay, cool. Did you say schmegular? Did I hear that word come out?
A regular schmegular house for $2 million is crazy. And you got like a old, like that's how you know it's real. You have an old Honda Civic, and no hate to the Honda Civic, but an old Honda Civic's in the driveway. You would think most of the whole rest of the nation, you think of a $2 million price point, there's at least like a Benz or something in the driveway. Nope. So like an old Honda Civic in
it's so funny you say that. I drive through my community. All the houses on the lake, they have old cars, old cars, right? And it's just like, but they're sitting on a beautiful house on the lake. So I absolutely love this. Patrick, what do you got for us, big dog?
Yeah, no, I mean, if I had a listing, I'd definitely door knock around anywhere in Marina. I go around Nopa. Nopa's going pretty fire right now, especially like around Haight Ashbury kind of areas. We're seeing a lot of overlisted price, like massively, like super over listing price. And always San Mateo, anywhere in San Mateo is, if you have a good house over there, great looking, structure, priced correctly, it's gonna go. So I'll door knock in those areas.
Really? Okay, cool. Anybody else have an area that they would go? I think I saw Antioch. Where else, you guys? Anywhere else that you would go based on recent sales? Nobody else? All right, cool. Let's move on. Let's move on here. Well, here's what I want you guys to think. If you don't have business right now, run comps, run comps. Look at the houses that sold well over asking price, pull up those comps, look at the houses that sold over asking price. And in your MLS, you should be able to see number of offers. If you need help with that, let me know. I can help you with adding that custom field. But go and knock on those doors. That's the best way to go and find new opportunities and new business. All right, cool. Let's go here. I got 2 more for you guys, and let's go here. Boom, bam, we were in. And let me go present. All right, cool. What stories or metaphors do you use to translate data into language your clients understand? I think this is really important, and that's why this question is on here. When you're thinking about how we deliver the information, once again, I always tell you, it is not their responsibility to decipher the information. It's your responsibility to share it in a way that consumers understand. So I need 1 to 2 people to answer that question. Do you share third-party stories? Do you share examples that you heard from, this call from our team meeting? How do you put the information into ways that they understand? Do you draw it on a napkin? Do you make it simple? What metaphors or stories do you use to translate data into language that your clients understand? I think this is a really, really important question. 2 people answer that question. Can't be anybody that's already gone. Who's going to be bold and answer that question? And I'll wait and I'll just look at you like this. Okay, if I don't get somebody to throw their hand up in 5 seconds, I'm calling on you. Evelyn, you're up.
I just knew you were gonna call me. I was waiting for it.
Let's go. You want me to put it back on the screen?
I don't, yeah, can I see the question again?
Yep. What stories or metaphors do you use to translate data into language that your clients understand? How do you simplify that for them?
I don't think I use any metaphors. I
Okay.
just like dumb it down how we usually say. So now that I'm doing dealing with the Zillow leads, I find myself doing that a lot because for them it's like they just met you. You're trying to give them info, but they don't know nothing about the process or any of that. So I find myself doing it a lot with the BRBC because I give them the one-time showing, but then I also let them know about the BRBC, which is a more longer commitment.
Exclusive, yep.
And they're very confused when I talk about it that way, but the way I say it is like with this form that I'm having you sign today, it's just stating that you're okay, you acknowledge that I'm the one showing you this property. If we were to move forward with this property, I will be the one representing it, representing you with it, just because I'm the one showing it to you. I'm the one sending you the inspections. Nobody else is doing it for you, right? So then I'm like, but we do have a BRBC. If you do choose to keep working with me and you like the way I work and the service I'm providing, we do have a BRBC. That one is a 3-month long commitment. And you could cancel at any time, but if you're happy with my service, every 3 months we would have to renew it until we find you a home. And basically you have a due diligence with me and I have a due diligence with you. And so if they're still confused about the whole BRBC, I let them know, I give them this example. I'm like, the reason this is happening is because there used to be scenarios where, let's say I showed you the property and I'm sending you the inspections, and then you all of a sudden meet another realtor and you're loving the way he's talking to you or whatever. So then he represents you on the property, but I'm the one who sent you the inspections. I'm the one who showed you the property. And I did all this work for you to even get you into this property. So then they were like, yeah, actually, that's really messed up. He's like, yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. And so I feel like that example right there, they're like, yeah, like it totally makes sense for me to like do the contract with you if you're the one sending me all these things.
Yeah, God, I love it. And being able to simplify it in just ways that people understand, speak their language, because we get this, you guys. We understand real estate at a very high conscious level, but I really love that, Evelyn. So let's go here, you guys. I got a couple other ones. I'll just let you guys marinate on these. I want you guys to ask yourself, what's the biggest myth about the current market that agents still believe? There is some myths out there. They can't succeed because of interest rates, whatever the case is. And if you were to predict one market shift in 2026, what would it be and why? Sit with these questions. I want you guys to really think about this. And the last one, we spoke about this briefly when Otis was speaking and when Damien was speaking. What are the invisible forces shaping demand right now that aren't being talked about? AI jobs, remote work reversals. We're hearing a lot of that, generational wealth transfers, etc. What are some of the things that we're not talking about that we can essentially make videos on? We can inform our consumers. We can look at data. We can look at migration patterns. We can see what's happening with tech work, what's happening, who are the new tech companies that are coming into into San Francisco, how that's driving demand for the East Bay for affordability purposes. You guys, there's so many things that can feed rich content, but you just have to take the one thing from our sessions and go out and apply it. So we're going to wrap session here, you guys. I'm going to get one key takeaway from our guest. Micah, let's hear one key thought, one key takeaway as our guest today at Keep It Moving, Big Dog. Let's hear from you. And Alexis, you're up next.
You mean like a key takeaway from this
Yeah.
whole meeting?
Yeah.
I liked it because it's very informative. It gives you an idea of what's going on around the Bay and in the market in general. So it's pretty good to attend and see what's going on out there, you know.
Oh, man, I appreciate you.
I found it very informative and helpful. So
Well, I appreciate you being here. This group means the world to me. It means the world to them. And so for you to be here, man, I appreciate that and super grateful for you to be our guest today. Alexis,
Awesome.
take us home. Alexis, you've been showing up in a big way, putting yourself on camera, documenting your journey. We see you, and it's really cool to see how visible you are in such a very, very short time frame. Alexis, key thoughts, key takeaways as we wrap sesh today.
I really like our discussion about how do you hold yourself accountable. I think that really resonates with me because sometimes I have a hard time doing it, but I think just seeing everyone here with their juices flowing, it's like it fuels my fire to keep myself going and holding myself accountable. And just hearing everyone's experience with the market too, it's really helpful for me to build up my confidence to talk to clients about what's going on. So yeah, that's been really helpful. So
I
thank you.
love it. I love it. Lean to this group, practice here. Like there should never be a time where I guys ask you guys a question and it's radio silence. Get involved in the conversation. It's supposed to be hard. This is coaching, right? This is supposed to kick your ass. So you guys are more equipped to go out there and handle your business in the real world. So you guys, thank you for being here. Gary, did you crush it yesterday at Tech Day?
It was Monday, but yeah, it was beautiful.
Has it already been 2 days? Jeez, Luis.
Part of was, like I was saying before, my app is the evolution of the like button. So what I was telling the dude, I said, what you have to ask me is what's up with the beef you have with the like button. So I had this dope skit about me and the like button not getting along. It was dope.
Man, I love it, man. Love it. Once again, great seeing your name in lights. You deserve all of the glory, all the accolades. I'm excited to see how this business takes off for you in conjunction with your real estate business. So you guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for being students. Patrick, I'll give you a call in just a little bit, but if you need anything, feel free to holler, you guys. And as always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision to make today a day that truly matters. Peace.